Welcome back to Vlog Series 3. We will unpack Jacques Derrida's challenging essay, Structure, Sign and Play. We'll explore the concept of structure in the human sciences, delve into the world of signs and meaning, and introduce the idea of play that disrupts traditional understanding. Buckle up, because Derrida's ideas will challenge our assumptions about language and knowledge. This essay has been divided into 8 parts, conveniently. The history of the structure before the event or the rupture. The event or rupture in the history of structuralism, the absence of a center. Where and how did this descenting occur? Derrida's critique of Claude Lévi-Strauss. Concept of totalization and supplementarity in Structure, Sign and Play. Free play in tension with history and presence. The two interpretations of structure and sign and free play. Derrida's concept of difference. In the opening of the essay, Derrida highlights an event of rupture and repetition that has taken place in the history of structuralism. He then goes on to discuss the history and concept of structure before this event of rupture. Derrida asserts that the notion of structure, along with the term structure itself, has roots as ancient as Western science and Western philosophy. In referring to Western philosophy and science as absolutes, Derrida highlights the concept's long-standing presence. The term episteme, denoting established and unquestionable knowledge and understanding, underscores the enduring nature of the concept and term structure. Western philosophy posits that the concept of order is founded on the categorization of the world into binary opposites. This principle is exemplified in Genesis and Jewish scriptures, where God's act of creation involves separating light from darkness, land from water and earth from heaven. This process demonstrates how order is established through the segregation of the world into distinct binary opposites. In the pre-modern era, people believed Earth was the center of the universe and ordered by God. This view implied that the universe had a specific structure and order, requiring a central governing force to maintain coherence. The belief persisted that everything, including individual existence, mirrored the universe's ordered nature determined by God. This thinking didn't disappear with modernity. The idea of central governing forces and structured orders remains prevalent today. Structurality of the structure. Derrida discusses the idea of the structurality of the structure, highlighting how structures have an inherent nature that is often overlooked because it is perceived as natural. This means that we tend not to notice or discuss the underlying structure, even though it is constantly influencing our perception and understanding of the world. Derrida explores how structural centers not only organize a system but also constrain its freedom. A structure allows some freedom within its boundaries, but without a center, this freedom would lead to chaos and incoherence. Example: if we disregard the central grammatical rules of English and speak freely, communication becomes confusing. A structure without a center or coherence would be incomprehensible. Derrida notes that while a center causes a structure's existence, it remains beyond the structure itself. Example: the rules of chess exist outside the game. Therefore, the center is not part of the structure. At the center, no substitution of elements is possible. This contrasts with the traditional idea that the center or origin of a structure not only holds the structure but is also part of it. The center is at the center of the totality, and yet, since the center does not belong to the totality, is not part of the totality has its center elsewhere. Derrida concludes that Western rationality, based on a structured center, contradicts the nature of knowledge itself, being contradictorily coherent. Contradictorily coherent. Derrida suggests that the contradictory coherence in Western thought indicates a fundamental desire for a center. Throughout its history, Western thinking has sought an origin, an ideal form, an absolute truth, or a God as a central point that provides meaning. The West has favored presence over absence, holes over holes, and has tried to fill the center with various substitutes. However, this desire for a center implies either that the center does not exist or that there is a problem with it. After all, we do not desire something that we already have or that already exists. According to Derrida in Structure, Sign and Play, the idea of a centered structure is merely another play founded on an unchanging center beyond the play itself. This play, based on a structure with an absolute center, causes and results from anxiety to maintain itself. In any game, there is always a level of anxiety because the play is constantly at stake. This anxiety ultimately leads to the restriction of free play. A center excludes and marginalizes all other valid possibilities. Example: in a male-dominant society, women will be marginalized. Similarly, a culture that places Christ at the center will marginalize any other culture that is different. This anxiety for a center gives rise to binary opposites such as Christian pagan, spirit matter, nature culture, etc. The right element of the binary is privileged, while the left element is marginalized. In a play that is anxious about maintaining a center, our knowledge becomes dependent on binary codes and concepts. The dominant half of the binary regulates our reality and restricts free play. For example, social codes, taboos, advertising, rituals, etc. all attempt to dominate one element of the binary while repressing the other. According to Derrida, language and reality are not definitive, this or that. They are ambiguous with several possibilities. Even if some possibilities are highlighted and preferred, there will always exist multiple possibilities. In Structure, Sign and Play, Derrida describes the structural center as the origin, the end, arch, beginning, or telos. Any substitution, transformation, or repetition of the structural center is rooted in a history of meanings that also has a fixed origin and end. Similarly, the field of eschatology, concerned with death and judgment, is reduced to a structure with a fixed center that is beyond play. Derrida examines the history of the concept of structure before the event or rupture he mentions at the beginning of Structure, Sign and Play. He considers structures both historically, diachronically, and at a specific moment, synchronically. When viewed at a specific time, a structure's center cannot be substituted. However, when viewed historically, the concept of structure reveals a series of center substitutions in a successive and regulated manner. These centers can be seen as metaphors and metonymies. Example: from the early Christian era to the 18th century, God was placed at the center. This center was then replaced by rationality in the 19th century and eventually by the unconscious, desire and irrationality. However, despite these changes, the concept of a center persists. Derrida notes that all these centers share a common characteristic: presence in every sense of the word. Terms related to principles and fundamentals always imply a sense of presence. Example: eidos, form or essence; arch, beginning; telos, aim; energia, activity; ousia, true being; and aletheia, truth. We are coming to the close of the part 1 of the essay, Jacques Derrida's Structure, Sign and Play in the Discourse of Human Sciences. That was a wild ride through Derrida's Structure, Sign and Play. We unpacked how meaning isn't fixed, but constantly at play within structures. Remember, structures still exist, but they're like playgrounds, not fortresses. Now, we haven't gotten to the juicy part yet, the event, or rupture, in Derrida's work. Here's the cliffhanger: what if structures have a hidden weakness? What if there's a crack in the foundation? A missing center that throws everything into question? That's exactly what we'll tackle next time. We'll dive into the event and explore how Derrida challenges the idea of a central meaning that holds everything together. Get ready to see structuralism turned upside down. The absence at the center might just be the most interesting part. Until then, keep those critical thinking muscles working.